Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Mags. So Newcastle United, of course, took on Sheffield United down at Bramall Lane last night, 6 o'clock kickoff. And of course, Newcastle went into this game against basement-dwelling Sheffield United, who hadn't won a game all season. And as you can see up on screen now, we've got the Newcastle lineup here and we've got the Sheffield United lineup right here. And if you look between the two lineups, you can see that Chris Wilder was going into this game looking for to take the 3 points from this game. And if you look at Newcastle's lineup for the game, you can see that Steve Bruce went with a more defensive style going into this game. Now, I've got to say, that's something we've been saying a lot from Steve Bruce, and it's something that's got to stop. When you're going into a game, against a team like Sheffield United, none offence to them, of course, but they haven't won a game all season. You're going into this game against them. They've lost 15 games, they've drew 2. They're on a run of 20 league games without a win since they beat Chelsea 3-0 back in the 1920 season. And, you're going into this game against Chris Wilder's side like that, and you're putting 5 at the back against them. It's absolutely beyond a joke. You've got to be looking at yourself, and thinking, why didn't we go attacking in this game? Why don't we go for a little bit more effort? And we went into the game very defensive against them. And we just sat back and just took the pressure that Sheffield United was putting on. And, that's not the Newcastle United that you want to see. You want to see an attacking Newcastle, an inspirational Newcastle. You want to see somebody that's really going for it. And Steve Bruce just isn't that guy. He isn't the guy to do that. He's not that kind of manager. And we've seen it all season. The way he's been going on with the tactics, or lack of tactics, because he's not a very tactical manager to begin with. And the way that game played out last night was just not Newcastle United. It should never went down like that. Newcastle should have never ended up losing 1-0 by a penalty from Billy Sharp. None offence to the guy. He seems to be a really good player for Sheffield United, but to come off the bench and get a late penalty like that, in the way he got it as well, he's lucky as well to also be on the pitch for the way he went in with that tackle on Fabian Shaw. It's absolutely horrendous, that tackle. He literally went right in on the ankle of Shaw. It was clear to see on the replay. I don't know how Rob Jones didn't even go about telling Andy Madley that was a foul and it should have been a red card, in my opinion. But, the way that game played out, you could see Newcastle just did not look like they wanted to win in that game. Steve Bruce, most importantly, obviously didn't want the win in that game. You could see the way he set the team up. If he wanted to go for the 3 points in the game, he would have set up in a more attacking manner. And I've got to say, it's just absolutely beyond a joke. If these kinds of performances keep up, you've got to be thinking when eventually will Mike Ashley step in and kick Steve Bruce out this club, because you're losing to a basement-dwelling side like Sheffield United. Thanks to that, Sheffield United's picked up their first win, and of course Ryan Fraser getting sent off as well. In the space of 3 minutes, he picked up a yellow card. And then he picked up another yellow card in the space of 3 minutes. You've got to be looking at Andy Madley and thinking, what the hell's going through your mind, man? The first tackle, fair enough, yellow card. Second tackle, at least give the lad a little bit of leeway. Looking at it back on the replay, the tackle wasn't really that much of a vicious tackle to be given a second yellow and be sent off. I thought it was more of a coming together between McGoldrick and Ryan Fraser, to be honest, and it should have just been that and that alone. He shouldn't have got a second yellow, he shouldn't have been sent off for that. So Andy Madley's got to check himself on that and got to rethink his decisions before just jumping straight in and giving the player a second yellow. We've seen it all season as well. Referees have been very hesitant to go into the games and give second yellows after already giving the player a yellow. But last night, Andy Madley wasn't hesitant at all. He just went straight in there, yellow card, second yellow, off. And, that's got to be questioned. It's got to be questioned to why he just made that decision so quick without even going and checking with Rob Jones on VAR neither. It's very, very questionable and looked very dodgy as well, looking at it from our perspective. And any other football fan would have looked at it in the same way, I'm sure, as well. But looking at the Premier League table up on screen now, Newcastle are 15th in the Premier League. 17 games played, 19 points, -9 on the goal difference as well. And of course, thanks to that, Sheffield United pick up their first win of the season. And of course, their first win since they beat Chelsea 3-0 back in the 1920 season. So that means that they're still in 20th, of course. 18 games played now, -20 on goal difference, and they've got 5 points now. So that means that they are exactly 3 points behind West Bromwich Albion, who are in 19th, and they are exactly 9 points adrift of Brighton, who are currently in 17th. But of course, they have played one more game than both of them. Whilst, of course, Newcastle, like I say, we've now gone 8 games without a win in all competitions, and we currently remain in 15th in the league, 8 points clear out of the relegation zone. So, Mike Ashley's got to be looking to get rid of Steve Bruce eventually, because the way things are going at the moment, if this keeps up, Newcastle are going down. We're definitely going down this season if Steve Bruce remains in charge at the helm. And I'm sure, if that was the case as well, then Mike Ashley could very, very likely lose the takeover with PIF as well, which, would be absolutely fucking shit, because let's face it, it's been about 8 to 6 weeks now. 8 to 6 months, now, that we've been waiting on this takeover. Maybe it's even longer, and it's all getting pretty much sacrificed at the moment for some spud-faced, cabbage-head looking fuck that doesn't even deserve to be at Newcastle. He's not a Newcastle United manager, he's not even a Premier League manager, so he's very, very lucky that he actually got hired by Mike Ashley, and he should have never been hired in the first place, let's face it. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Another shit game for Newcastle, as we end up losing to basement dwelling Sheffield United. Any Sheffield United fans watching, of course, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and congratulations as well on your first win of the season. Until next time, I'll see you all there, and how are the lads?